Hi everyone, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to cut this beautiful off-shoulder bustier gown, fitted gown with a balloon sleeve. Okay, so keep watching, and if you've not subscribed, please do well to subscribe, like, share and comment on my video. So let's get started. I folded the material by 2, then I folded again enough to be able to, if I divide my hip measurement divide by 4, I'll have like extra 3 to 4 inches allowance on it. So that is how I folded it. So I have like 2 inches left. There is a space of 2 inches I left. That place that my hand is touching now, I have a space of 2 inches that I left for the zipper allowance, because I'm cutting both the front piece of the skirt and the back piece of the skirt together. So now I'm going to start marking down the points that we'll be needing for the skirt. So I'm going to mark the starting point, that's the starting line, also serve as my waist point. Then I'm going to place my tape on a straight line, and I'll mark my hip point. So after marking my hip point, I'll mark my knee point. My hip point is at 10 inches, my knee point at 21 inches. Then after that, I'll mark the full length of the gown, where I've already done my calculations before marking the full length. The full length is at 47 inches. So to get your full length, you're going to remove 16 inches, which is for the upper area. Then you add your full length. So I added 1 inch allowance for the folding, because it's going to have a lining. So I'll use that 1 inch to fold it inside. So I will divide my waist circumference divide by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. So after that, I'm going to do the same thing on the hip point. I'm going to divide my hip circumference by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. My client's hip circumference divide by 4. So on the knee, I'm going to remove 1 inch from what I have on the hip point. My hip point is 12 and a half, and then I will mark 11 and a half. I removed 1 inch, then I added 2 inches allowance. Then I will do the same thing on the full length. So that is it. Whatever you have on your hip, divide it, remove 1 inch from it, then mark on your knee. So this is how I got my full length. I removed 16 inches, then I have 47 as the full length of the gown. So that is how I got that measurement when I marked the full length. That 16 inches is for the upper bodies of the gown. So I'm going to connect the lines together. Then once I'm done doing that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark the zipper area. That's the 2 inches allowance I marked out. So I marked 1 inch on the waist and 1.5 inch on the hip, 1 inch on the knee and 1 inch on the full length. Then I connect it together. So that is my zipper allowance. So I'm going to start cutting out the excesses right now. After cutting the excesses, this is what I have at the end of the day. So this is the front piece and this is the back piece. So the back piece is divided into 2 because of the zip that is going to go through there. So now we are going to cut the upper bodies right now. So for the upper bodies, we are going to first of all draft it in a pattern paper before we are going to cut it on the main bodies. So for the pattern paper, I have my pattern paper here, and the length that we're going to use is 17 inches. Remember, we removed 16 inches from the gown. We're going to use 17 inches. We added 1 inch for the cutting, okay, on this paper. So I'm going to cut out this in 2, one for the front and one for the back. So after we are done doing that, the next thing we are going to do is to start drafting the front bodies. So I am going to mark the starting point, which is also our shoulder point. And after I'm done doing that, I am going to place my tape on a straight line and I'll mark down the points. So I'm going to mark my armhole point, my bust point, my under bust and my waist point, which is that's what I did, and I'm going to mark a straight line on them. So after I'm done doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my neck, that's my shoulder circumference, divide by 2. So we practice the 3 inches 8 inches. That's the normal shoulder measurement for everybody. 3 inches for the wideness of the neck, that's the opening of the neck, and 5 inches for the shoulder, that is 8 inches in total. That's 3 inches 8 inches. Then I will come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, then I go in by 8 inches on the down part to enable us mark a straight line on them. So after that, next thing I'm going to do is to go up by 1 inch. Then I will divide my armhole into two. Then I'll connect the lines together. Remember, I'm still going to go in by like half inch. So I'll go in by half inch, then I'll reconnect the lines together. Next thing I'm going to do now is to come down by 5.5 because it's an off shoulder gown. So we're going to come down by 5.5 for the opening of the shoulder. So we have 5.5, that's 5.5 inches. Okay, because she wants to the shoulder to cover the chest area to cover a little bit. So next I'm going to divide my bust. My client's nipple to nipple is 4.5. Okay, so I marked 5 inches before because she's a busty woman. So I marked 5 inches, but it's not 5 inches, it's 4.5 inches. So we are going to use 4.5 inches as the nipple to nipple. So now I am going to connect the lines together, but on here I'm going to mark 5 inches at the chest area, 5 inches as the chest area, then I'll connect the lines together. You know, the chest is always wider. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go in by 1 inch on my waist area, and I'll come out by 1 inch as well. So we are going to have 2 inches in total. We'll do the same thing on my under bust. Then I'll connect the lines together. So once I am done doing that, I am going to come down by 1 inch on my under my bust point, and I'll connect it in a slanted form to form my bust pad. So once I'm done doing that, on my chest area I'm going to go in by half inch. Just I'll mark half inch on both sides, then I'll connect it to the bust point. So that is it. So I'm going to divide my shoulder, that's the 5 inch, divide it by 2. I have 2.5 inch. That's from my neck area to my shoulder. So next I'm going to come down by a half inch, and I'll just mark a little curve, a little sweetheart neckline. Next I am going to just check out the chest. The wideness of the chest is going to be 5 inches. So I checked the other side, it is 4.5. Then I added 1 inch, making it 5.5. Then this is going to be our new armhole line. The chest area, the wideness of the chest for this off shoulder is supposed to be 5 inches. 5 inches. Okay, so we are having an off shoulder gown, so the chest, we are not going to be making use of all the chest points. So I'm going to divide my bust point by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, and I'll add the 1 inch space that we have at the bust area. So I will do the same thing on the bust point. Then on the waist, I will divide my waist circumference divide by 4. My waist circumference is 40, divide by 4, 10.5. Okay, my under bust, sorry, I've added the 2 inches that I removed. Also add 1.5 inch allowance. Then on the hip point, I am going to divide my hip point, sorry, my waist point, sorry, added the 2 inches I removed, and added 1.5 for the allowance. Then I connect the lines together. So now I'm going to start cutting out the excesses. So this is how I'm going to cut this place now. I'll cut this place off. We are not going to be making use of it. So this is what we have. I'm going to remove the upper side now and make use of these two. The front, then I've already cut it out on the main bodies of the material. So this is for the side. we have two of it and we have one of this. So we're going to cut the lining of this. We are going to cut the lining using this also to cut the lining. The fabric will not the pattern, the fabric, because I added half inch on the fabric. So now I am going to cut the back piece now. So for the back of this um particular gown, I am going to go in by 1 inch for the zipper allowance. My marker is not giving me what I want. I'll connect it together. This is 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Then I'll mark the starting point. This my marker is not writing. Then I'll mark the starting point. Then I'll place my tape on a straight line. This is my zipper allowance. I'm just making it obvious. So I'm going to mark the armhole, the pulse point, and the waist point. At this point, we won't be needing the underbust point because we are not working on the front piece. Then I'll connect the lines together. Let me bring my pencil. It's better with pencil. I have to sharpen the pencil. So guys, this is what we have, the waist point. So next thing I'm going to do now is to divide the come in by 3 inches for 3 inches 8 inches neck point. Come down by 1 inch, connect it to the 3 inches neck width. Go in by 8 inches as well to mark the armhole line. Then I'll divide my armhole by 2, mark the center, come in by half an inch to mark the armhole curve. So next thing I'm going to do is to mark my nipple to nipple circumference 4.5 on the waist, and on the chest 4.5, and I'll connect the lines together. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go in by 1 inch on both sides. Then I'll come down by 1 inch from the chest point. I'll connect the lines together. So once I'm done, I'm going to come down by 5.5 for the chest opening of the chest point. This is my chest point. So I am going to go in by 5.5. Remember, we are using the wideness of the chest is 5 inches. So I added half inch for the joining, 5.5. Then for the curving of the back, I came down by 1.5 inches and then I curved it like this. So this is all we have for the back. Then let's put the allowance. So now I'm going to put down my measurement. My bust point divide by 2 plus 2 inches allowance by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. My bust point divide by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, and my waist point divide by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. Then I'll connect the lines together. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to cut out the excesses. So this is going to be the back piece. I wanted to open the darts, but no, let's just cut it like that. So for the zipper area, I'm going to go in by 1 inch, just a little bit length on the waist point, so that the zip will not be bulgy at the back. So let's cut it out on the main bodice of the gown. This is my new zipper line. So let's cut it out on the main bodice like this. I folded it into two to cut two for the two sides. Then I will use this same pattern to cut the lining. So this is all we have for the back piece. Just trimming it down. I'm going to cut out the lining for the back piece too, and this is the front piece. This is the side of the front piece, one side of the front piece, and the center as well. I'm going to show you the center. This is the center and this is the back. So these two are for the front piece, and this is for the back piece. Okay, so make sure you give a notch at the that area. So I'm going to give my notch, that place that I marked my dart, I'm going to give my notch there. And then, as you can see, I've already cut out the lining for the the skirt. This is the skirt lining, as you can see. See, when cutting the lining, remove 1 inch for the down part. If you notice my lining, it reduced by 1 inch because of the folding at the down part of the skirt. Just watch this one. You see, the lining was reduced by 1 inch, as you can see, for the folding of the skirt. And this is the front bodice. Let's go and join them all together, and then I will show you what it looks like. Guys, so this is the skirt. I've just finished joining the lining. So this is what it looks like. Now this is the upper bodice, the one I drafted with a pattern paper. This is what it looks like after joining the liner. This is the front bodice. Okay, the front upper bodice. So I'm going to join it to the skirt like this, right side facing right side, and I'll sew with 1/2 inch. Then this is the sleeve. This is the sleeve. It's a balloon sleeve. I'm going to join it together to the gown. I'm just showing you all the joining process that I did. It's very simple. Just joining. I didn't want to post add the joining videos, but I just want to show you guys what it should look like after you are done joining with the lining and everything. Okay, I'll add my zipper to the back, and I'll come down by 10 inches for the opening, the slit of the back. Okay, by 8 inches, and I'll just stitch 10 inches and put the zip. That is it. So this is what it looks like after I'm done joining it. Okay, thank you for watching.